Live, this is News Channel 8 at 11 on your side.
A tragedy tough to comprehend now 44 years later.
I was the one who saw the last expression on their face.
Vivid memories from a diver at the Skyway disaster. It was 44 years ago today. The Sunshine Skyway bridge broke apart and 35 people plunged to their deaths. News Channel 8's Nicole Rogers spoke with both a diver who recovered the victims and an attorney who represented the ship's pilot as they both remembered that tragic day.
It's a tragedy that defined Florida's West Coast for decades, the Sunshine Skyway disaster. Now, 44 years later, a diver and an attorney are looking back at the day that changed their lives forever. The day was May 9th of 1980. The 19,734-ton Summit Venture freighter, fighting 60-mile-per-hour winds with blinding fog and rain, slammed into the Sunshine Skyway bridge. Then a chunk of concrete more than 1,200 feet long cracked, and one by one, 6 cars, 1 pickup, and a bus fell into the water below.
I was the one who saw the last expression on their face.
35 people were killed, and someone had to dive down and get the bodies. Bob Raiola bravely took on the job.
I said a soft prayer and apologized to each one of those victims that I picked up and removed from inside that bus, every single one of them.
Almost everyone blamed the ship's pilot, John Laro, but one Tampa attorney proved them all wrong.
They brought in the National Weather Service. I remember it well. He was on the stand, guy from North Carolina, I don't recall his name, and he said, "We gave a warning the morning of May 9th.
Many said Laro should have never taken the ship out that day because of that warning. But during the trial, the evidence cleared him.
I said, "What time was the warning issued?" When he looked at it, all of a sudden he was silent. And then he turned red. And then he turned purple. I said, "Will you please answer the question?" He said, 8:30 a.m. I said, "Well, tell me, it wouldn't have done much good for a pilot to hit the bridge at 7:34 a.m., would it?"
Now, 44 years later, drivers passing by may notice a beautiful bridge that lights up the night sky. But for the people involved in that disaster, it serves as a solemn reminder of May 9th of 1980.
Everybody has their own thoughts on that. I know that when Steve Yerrid sees it, he sees the courtroom, he sees John Laro. I've been asked this many a times, and when I think of the Skyway, when I see it, unfortunately, I see the victims in that bus, in the upturned bus.
8 months after Laro returned to work, he was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. That disease took his life in 2002. In Pinellas County, Nicole Rogers, 8 on your side.